All right, everybody, check this out. This right here is an app that I made within 30 minutes with Figma Make, and it is freaking insane. Let me show you what it does right here. All right, so this right here is my blood work, all right? I printed out from a printer. And essentially, what this app allows me to do is to take a picture. So I click this camera here, flip it around, take that pic, snap it, hit OK. And what it's going to do is upload it to Google Gemini servers, and then it's going to extract all of these lab results, like my glucose, my creatinine, all that good stuff. And what it's going to do is then put it into the context of this chat window right here, this chat box, and I can ask it questions, which is actually pretty crazy because now it becomes like your personal doctor. Now, if you've been following me before, you know that I've already built a service like this, but I ran into a big hitch because if I wanted to let other people use it, I had to be HIPAA compliant, and that's difficult to achieve. It's also costly. So if you just want to make your own AI assistant doctor where you upload your own lab work, that is completely fine, and this is how you do it. All right, so it's actually done uploading now, and if I click show lab values, we can see all of the values that it extracted, like where's my creatinine? 1.1. Now, if we look at over here, creatinine, 1.1. So it essentially extracted all the relevant values. And now if I hit close, I can go ahead, and it already gave me some initial oversight about what all these values mean, but I can go ahead and actually ask it more follow-up questions, and that way it becomes kind of like this whole virtual doctor of sorts. And I'm going to show you exactly how to make it within Figma Make. Now, this is the first step, and I've chosen to time-lapse this because this is not actually Figma Make right here. This is the regular Figma design mode where we design the actual UI. And so the two relate to each other because you can use Figma Make in order to import what you see here. So if you want to control the layout and not leave it up to the AI to spit out, whatever it determines it wants to spit out, then you can first step into design here and design the actual UI. So this is going to be a mobile app. So I'm in a mobile frame right here. And I'm just kind of thinking out loud, so to speak, in terms of what I want this simple UI to look like and how I want it to behave. So you'll see me change things here and change decisions and such, but I'll keep on time-lapsing this even faster, and that way I can show you in real time what the Figma Make process looks like. Okay, so now that the design is finished, what we want to do is click plus right up here, create a new document, and we're going to click on Figma Make right here. Okay, so now we kind of see the typical AI chatbot container box rather, and what we want to do is click plus right here, attach a design, and when we do this, we can paste in a Figma frame or an image to attach it. So link to Figma frame. What this means, we go back. In this case, we want to take the whole app frame itself, the main app UI. We're going to come over here, right click and choose copy, and then choose copy link to selection. All right, and then we go back, and right here, we're going to paste that. Okay, now you can see it's shown up right here in this area. But we want to attach the second one as well for the modal pop-up that will show all the biomarkers and the lab values. So right click, we're going to go to copy here. And by the way, you can also click send to Figma Make as well. Copy link to selection and paste it in. And there we go. We have two of them that are now attached. Now this is where we have to specify our prompt. Describe your idea, attach the design to guide it, which we already did. Now I already did the prompt in Google Docs just so I can see everything. As you can see, it is not a long document. If I zoom out just a little bit, this is the entire element. And of course, there would be a lot of other things if I wanted to go crazy and make it super detailed, but this is just a high level overview of what I want to happen. So I'm just going to select all, copy that. And again, just real quick, I'm not going to read over all of it. You can pause this and read it yourself. But essentially, all I'm doing is just telling them what type of features that I want. And also, real important, I'm telling it to use the Google Gemini API since this is AI powered. And I told it to use the latest Pro model right here, Gemini 3 Pro Preview. Sometimes across any type of AI builder, it might choose just a random one and it might give you bad results. So always check and double check that it's using the right model. Okay, so I'm going to copy this and we're going to paste this in, and I'm going to go ahead and send this. And now it's going to go ahead and start to work. And I'm not going to sit here waiting for it. We'll do a time lapse and we'll see what other follow-ups need to be made. And just a real quick point about that. I don't care what tool you're using, Figma Make, you're using Cursor, Claude, whatever. You're always going to anticipate having to do follow-up prompts. Things won't work perfectly. We're not at that point of AGI where it's always just perfect. So always count on doing follow-up prompts, because that is simply a part of the process, especially for something that's loose like a prototype. Now, next up, a part of the process, especially when you're dealing with any type of API or something that needs a key of some sort, an API key, like Google Gemini, for instance, if it's AI powered, it's going to ask for your Gemini API key or any of the other API keys that it's tying into for the services. So in the case of Gemini API, that just means you go to aistudio.google.com, you find your API keys there, you can create them as well. Okay, so here it is. I have not tested it yet. And obviously it's on my desktop right now. It's not on my phone at this point. But we can probably very likely just test it here. It's also in a desktop resolution. So if we click over here at the very top, this icon, here's a mobile preview. There we go, much better. We can experiment with the size. And we know this is working correctly because we set up our auto layout correctly when I was designing this. So here's the message area. It was intelligent enough to put a send button over here, which we can customize. If I click that, there we go. We can see the file selector and then the file selector here as well. So now we just have to give it a test with an actual lab work. Okay, so here is a PDF document, and in the actual prompt I specified PDF documents need to be able to be uploaded because lab work is often sent to people via email through PDF format. So that's the first thing we're going to test. This is actually my lab work that I had. You can see the testosterone's high. I got this because I got on TRT like 8 months ago. And so all this other stuff, there's some high values. I might be dying soon, I'm not sure. But this is a great tool though, a use case for people who are hypochondriacs. They don't want to wait to talk to their doctor. So this is going to be the file that I reference called binder3.pdf. So all I have to do is come over here, upload. All right, now it says analyzing report. All right, so unfortunately it didn't do like a nice transition of like where the chat container didn't just like animate up all the way. I would have liked that instead of having a hard shift. But here's what it says. Upload. I apologize, but I encountered an error analyzing your lab report. Please try again. Ensure your file is a clear image or PDF of your lab results. So you expect this. And you can see right down here, 2 errors. Fix this for me. So if I click on the errors, it says internal server error during report analysis. And so I'm not exactly sure. You can see there's a Supabase error right here. So it might be related to Supabase. So if I just click fix this for me right here, we can hope and, really hope and pray that it fixes the issues. And in my experience, obviously, yes, it does. We have really good models that we're dealing with. And so let's see what it does. Okay, let's give it a shot. That literally took like 50 seconds or so. All right, analyze and report. All right, it came back with another error. I'm gonna choose fix. Now I'm time-lapsing this part because there were just a few more prompts that I had to follow up just to get some stupid things working, which is usually par for the course for any builder. Okay, let's try upload, analyze and report. This time we're not getting an error yet, so that's good. So that means we're getting past that one initial issue that we had before. All right, it looks like it worked. It says, I see your lab results have been uploaded. How can I help you understand them better? Now what happens if I click show lab? There it is. Now it's not really working how I envisioned it to work. I would have liked to see this kind of open full screen, but then again, I didn't tell it, I didn't give it any instructions about that. But as you can see, it used my design and where's the testosterone at? Because I know that was higher. Yep, 1002. It did it. So now let me ask a specific question about my actual lab work. So I'll come over here and I'll say, is my testosterone high? Send. Now we have an issue. Again, we're gonna have to fix this part. Is my testosterone high? I apologize, but I encountered an error. So let's figure out why that occurred. So it was using an old API endpoint, I believe. So I'm gonna see if I can do this without reloading. There it goes. It says thinking. Is my testosterone high? Thinking. And this is because we're not using Gemini Flash, which is actually a faster model. This one, you would want to have, a more thinking model when we're dealing something, with health concerns. It's okay for it to think a while. We don't need instant. So, look at this. So here is the actual result. Let's make this a little bit larger. And based on the results provided, analysis, your testosterone right there. See, that way it's also in the context of the chatbot. This is so freaking cool. All this, yeah. So it's essentially like being able to answer questions and have a doctor, essentially, not a doctor, but to give you some really good insights. And I found that these insights are actually better a lot of times, way more comprehensive than just what you would get when you visit your actual doctor. Now let's try another thing. Let's see if the image attachments works. I'm gonna upload my initial lab report before I got on TRT. Look, it even knew. Look at this. Okay, so it said, based on the images you uploaded and the text data you provided in your first message, we can now see a complete before and after picture. It knew automatically that this was a before blood work. So this is pretty crazy. And it still doesn't even know that I'm on TRT, but it's making the assumption already. It says this is the most significant change, the hormonal shift. I said nothing so far about TRT at all. It's not even in the lab work. So this can really help people, and we literally spent in total, I know I did a time lapse. For me to design that stuff, it was like 20 minutes. That's it. And that's what that time lapse was in the beginning with me designing in the Figma design portion. And so this is absolutely insane. Definitely advise checking out Figma Make for this stuff. This is really just redefining what it means to have and be able to produce personal software in the future, especially for something like this, where you would have to sign up for a service and they're charging you a lot because they have to abide by HIPAA compliancy and all that stuff. So, if there's APIs that you can tie into and there's AI that you can infuse with it, Figma Make is a great option here, especially if you're working within Figma already to design stuff, to create essentially personal software and prototypes.